Hello, good people. By now, you know the deal. If the camera angle is off, it's not by design. I'm blind and it comes with the territory. I love political rhetoric. That said, I'm very critical of it as well. Or at least, I'm very critical of politicians that use political rhetoric. But I think it's part of the game, so to speak. It's part of politicking, it's part of political analysis, it's the political world. It's how it should be. Right? You can love something and still be very critical of it. Doesn't make me a hypocrite. I hope not. I mean, in this cutthroat world where it's just simply black and white and there's no gray or no color, it's tough. It's really tough. But yeah, I think political rhetoric is a necessary evil. How else do we gauge the temperature in a community, in a society? How do we gauge the temperature of a political party or a politician in terms of where they stand or where they are in their political program? Mentally as well, emotionally, where they want to take things. I think it's very important. Political rhetoric is akin to art. Yeah, I certainly think so. And so we need to allow people to express themselves within political theater, whether we like it or we don't. But the problem with political rhetoric, it has consequences. Some of them are banal and, we don't really see them as harmful initially. But others, they can be very serious. And we've got history to show us this, right? So, look, I'm saying all of this because yet again, we find ourselves debating kill the Boer, kill the farmer in South Africa. It's amazing how this becomes a point of discussion, debate, fury in South Africa. And increasingly, it has become more divisive. Initially, it used to be like a smaller section of South African society. Rightly so. I mean, if I'm an Afrikaner, you know, a boertjie in some dorpie, and I'm hearing kill the Boer, kill the farmer, and then I wouldn't be happy. That's all. Like, yeah, I think it goes without saying. You can't expect me to have the education of a liberal in Wits University or University of Cape Town. Just can't work that way, right? I don't know. Like, I think we gotta have outlook as well when we do these things, when we think about them, when we say them, when we act them out. Right? So yeah, that was the section of society. So generally though, I mean, it seemed as though even though the debate would heat up, it wasn't as divisive as it appears right now. And that's quite interesting on two fronts. One, that usually when you have a small group of black people upset about something, it may or may not make news, and people quickly go past it, and it's not that that matter is not going to be discussed again. Like, well, chances are it's not going to be discussed actually again. But here you have an issue affecting a small number of people, and it makes news every so often. What does it tell you? Cultural capital. This group clearly is considered to be of high importance in the society, and they're able to navigate and position themselves and grab the attention and have pull in media, in political parties. Yeah. Through what? By just them being unhappy with a political slogan or rhetoric. I think it illustrates cultural capital quite aptly. And then secondly, I think that this group has now managed to use that cultural capital to position this issue in a story that was premised on falsehoods, disinformation, propaganda, that has led to a rapid deterioration of relations between the United States and South Africa. Now, for some reason, Duwilibunu has become almost a focal point of, this is why things are so bad, right? It's been characterized by that grouping, by the elite, as a genocidal type of speech. It's intriguing, I think. Where do I stand on Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer? I think you can deduce from my opening remarks about it. I believe in freedom of speech. I love political rhetoric, to repeat myself. But I will say this, that though political rhetoric, particularly Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, Dubulibun, using that as an example, gives us an indication of where things stand. At the same time, we need to know contextually what's happening, right? We can't just be excitable for the sake of, oh, no, let's defend it. No, it's the best thing ever. It should be shouted from the hilltops or from the rooftops. It cannot be. It cannot be. It makes us clownish to reason in that particular way. It is not superior logic. Yeah, I said it. Because you also need to look at the conversation and the maturity of that conversation, but also where we're at and where we are heading, right? It's one thing if we have a clear goal of working towards, I don't know, perhaps eradicating a certain group's participation in society or their dominance in society, and there are clear steps that have been taken towards this goal, right? We can tell that, okay, 1, 2, and 3 has been done, and therefore this political rhetoric is necessary to garner the support and rally the troops. In that regard, sure, right? I think it's fine, right? For example, the ANC will say better life for all, right? And then how they want to illustrate that, for example, is by showing people that, oh, 80% of households have water. Oh, so many people have been getting access to electricity from 1994. It's been 30 some years of greatness brought to you by the ANC, a better life for all. Right? So many people have access to water and sanitation. So many people are getting diapers, nappies, or whatever, right? You get the drift. Right? So many people have access to palapala. Maybe not. But yeah, a better life for all. Get it? Cool. Umkhonto wesizwe. What are they saying? Gwaza mkhonto, gwaza. And why is that important for them? It's because they are a new political outfit and they're making inroads, right? So essentially, it means that Sangena, Sfile, look at us. We are moving things, right? You may not like it, but that's what they're doing, right? It's more like they're tearing through. They're causing disturbances. They are surprising people. Shock and awe, right? Gwaza, mkhonto, gwaza. That's what it is, right? You got to read it within that context. So now, when Ufaru or Julius Malema uses kill the Boer, kill the farmer, what is it for? If someone can explain to me what it is for, I think it would be a worthwhile discussion for us to have. Is it for emancipation? And if it is for emancipation, how so? How does it encompass that? I think it needs to be explained in a video for dummies like me, right? Genuinely. Or is it to educate a certain section in society? And if so, why? Right? Is the belief that by agitating this section in society, irritating them, making them angry, they'll just up and leave? No, I can't handle the singing of Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer. I'm just going to leave and go to England, or I'm going to go to America. Is that it? I mean, if that's so, then, well, it's a brilliant political strategy. No doubt. And I would like to see data of this. Or then, is it just simply said to rally people and to push them towards unification for that political rhetoric? So we need clarity. It needs to make sense. And why is it that the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, are the only ones who are most comfortable saying it, singing it, right? What do they know that the rest of society doesn't know? Are we, as South Africans, unaware of the structural racism issues? I mean, we're certainly aware of the incidents of racism, right? The individual ones that happen between pockets of communities or individuals. We're quite aware of that, right? The cliques saga. And that is what often the EFF tackles, right? These individual instances. Oh, man wasn't allowed to buy a drink at club whatever because he's black. Our EFF will be there, right? Clicks has crappy messaging or depicts black people in a certain way. EFF will be there. We know this. But is this under the banner of Dubuli Bunu? I don't know. So perhaps it's incumbent upon those who use this political rhetoric to explain it, right? But also in a context such as this one and this climate where we find ourselves in, right? Where the EFF is positioning itself in a rather socialistic way, but wishes to join the government of national unity to replace the Democratic Alliance. And I'm going to repeat that. It wishes to join the government of national unity, the grand coalition set up by President Ramaphosa to replace the Democratic Alliance. Its main issue, primary issue, is not the neoliberal posture of the GNU, the Grand Coalition, it would appear. So what does that mean? Where does Dubuli Bunu fit in all of this? And I think we're living in a time when we also need to be cognizant of the voter base. Yeah, sure, we are the most unequal society. We're well aware of that. But let's not play games here. South Africans' political consciousness is quite high up there. So you can't engage South Africans, particularly black South Africans, poor South Africans, in the same way that you would have engaged them 40 years ago. Their education levels are high. Yeah, fine. I mean, there are problems with literacy. We know that. But there's a grouping, millions of South Africans who have attained a level of education that we can safely say that we are a smart nation. We may not have the economic opportunities that will yield the results that would then show that how smart we are. But nevertheless, South Africans are smart. So it's incumbent then upon you as a politician to not take that for granted. Read the room, see where they are. But then again, as I've said, I just could be stupid and I just don't get it. And maybe it needs to be explained to me why this is important. And why it appears that opportunistically it comes up and it makes news and it becomes a discussion point. Right? Why is it so? Anyway, wish to hear your take on this. Do you agree or disagree?